Hello everyone, and welcome back to day 4 of the Advent of Cyber 3 by TryHackMe. Today's challenge is quite exciting for me because we'll be using Burp Intruder in order to break into a login page. And honestly, Burp Suite, if you're at least a little bit interested into web app pen testing, Burp Suite will be your top tool. Burp Suite is so strong. So yeah, let's go ahead and dive right into it. So basically, this room for the theory part has a little bit of information about authentication, and there's a couple of ways that you can authenticate to a website. I won't dive too deep into it, but in this case, it seems like we'll be posting username and passwords using the post HTTP request. And so what is fuzzing? Now fuzzing is what we'll be doing with the Burp Intruder. So fuzzing is basically automated means of testing an element of a web application. So what does that mean? Well, basically, in our case, we will have a login form that we will send data to. And this data, we will automate our request, right? So for example, here, I already have the website open. So yeah, let's dive right into the practical part and I will show you all about it. So, of course, make sure that you're connected to the VPN. Yesterday's video, so day 3, has the little tutorial about how to connect to the VPN. So I will link that in the little thingy that will appear on top right of your screen. So, and you will also need to set up Burp Suite. Now, the instructions here are quite easy to follow. So I will let you mess around with these instructions. The only thing that I will show you how to do will be how to enable Foxy Proxy. So Foxy Proxy is actually a little add-on that you can have on Firefox. So let's say you don't have it and you do Foxy Proxy. Well, you'll see it right here, right? So just go ahead and add it to your Firefox. And then once this is done, you will need to go into the little top right icon, go into Options, and then you will need to add a new proxy. Now you will need to name it, let's say Burp. Like I named mine Burp 8080. Next, you will need to do the proxy IP address to be 127.0.0.1, and then port will be 8080. Then you can press save. So let's say I don't call it 8080 because I already have one like that. So let's save it. Now you see I have Burp that I can now select here. So select this, and once you have Burp Suite open, make sure that intercept is on. And then for the rest, these instructions should be good enough for you guys to follow along. So once this is done, I will show you what fuzzing will be. So let's go ahead and join this. Now, of course, my intercept is on, so I'll just turn it off for now. So basically what fuzzing will be is we will provide a username here and we'll provide password. So let's say we had 5 different passwords. You remember like yesterday, right? So with the default credentials. So yesterday we had 1 username and 3 potential passwords. So that doesn't take a long time to test. Let's say like yesterday it was administrator, and like the password was, let's say, change me, right? Now if you log in here, oh, it doesn't work. All right, so you know that you have only 2 more left to go. So now you have administrator and then you do administrator, and in our case yesterday this would have worked. However, if you have more than a few passwords to test, it's gonna take a long time to do it all manually, and this is where fuzzing comes into play. So in our case, if we scroll down, we see a couple of questions. So the first question is access the login form at this IP address. We've done that, we're right there. So let's complete it. Configure Burp Suite and Firefox, submit the SonDB credentials, and intercept the request. Now we have not done that yet. So make sure that Burp Suite is set up, Firefox, that Foxy Proxy is set up, and once everything is done, you can go here, make sure that your intercept is on, and then submit some usernames. So the username we need to do will be Santa. So let's go, oops, and enter Santa, and then for the password, let's just do pass. Now, if I do login, you see that Burp Suite basically captured my request before it could be sent to the website. So now I see everything about the request. This is my raw request I'll be sending. So how does that work? So basically we're posting, so we're sending data to / which is the root of the web server. And in our case, it's going to be this login form. So that's good. And now if we go down, we see that we have some cookies, which probably don't matter for this. It's probably a cookie that doesn't really change anything. And then we have username equals Santa and password equals pass. And this is what I've entered. So now, how can we automate this? Well, we can right click here and then send to intruder, or we can also press Ctrl I on our keyboard. Now, if we go to intruder and go to positions, we'll see that there's a couple of positions that were already set up for us. So let's just clear them. And now, since we know that the password will only be for Santa, what we can do is actually just select the password value, basically. So this is the parameter and this is the value. So just select this. And now you see that we didn't touch Santa because we know it's a valid username. So let's just keep it like that. Next we go to payload. And now here we'll enter the list of potential passwords that we will be using. So let's do an hypothetical example, and let's say that there was 2 usernames. There was Santa and admin. Well, we'll also use a little payload position, and we would switch this to cluster bomb. There's a bit more explanations in the in this room about the cluster bomb. So I'll let you read about this. It's not really important for now because we know that the only thing we need is actually the password. So let's keep it at sniper because we only have 1 payload position and go to the payloads. Once we have the payloads, they suggest that we use this word list right here. So let's just click on this link and just grab all of these. Ctrl C to copy them, and then let's just do paste. So as you can see, now we have 15 potential passwords. So what Burp Intruder will do is basically fuzz, as we were explaining before, it will fuzz this little field, the pass field. So if I start the attack, you'll see that it's basically trying all the combinations. So it's trying Santa as the username, Christmas as the password, as you can see here at the bottom. And now it's the same thing here, and it's the same thing here, etc. So how do we know that something is valid? Well, if you take a look and take 5 seconds to guess, but one of them is different. So all of them work, all of them are valid requests, but only one of them has a different length. And only one of them will redirect us, which we can guess to be the quote unquote logged in page. So what we see whenever we log in, right? And the password is cookie for this, as you can see here or here. So now what does this tell us? So it tells us that we probably found valid credentials, which are Santa and as the username and cookie as the password. So let's turn off our intercept and go here. So let's try Santa and cookie. Let's not save password. And now, as you can see, we just found a way to log in into Santa's private page, which is awesome. So let's complete the objective. So we captured the request. That's good. What valid password can we use? Well, it's cookie. And finally, what is the flag in Santa's itinerary? We just found it right here. So just like that, day 4 is complete, and you learn the basics about how to use Burp Intruder. I'm pretty sure I already linked to it yesterday, my Jerry video, but in the Jerry video I did back in the days, I actually went more in depth about Burp Intruder, so I will link it again in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching this 4th day of the Advent of Cyber 3 by TryHackMe. I really appreciate all of the efforts that they put into making great rooms and also making us explore different tools and concepts. That's always fun. So if I bring you value guys, make sure to subscribe and like the video. It always helps me a lot. And if you want to support me, consider clicking the links in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching and see you tomorrow for day 5 of the Advent of Cyber 3 by TryHackMe.